Hello, everyone. This is Robin Mansell from Trade All Markets. And I just started using Anchor recently. And I have to tell you that it has been the most incredible experience. I was looking for something to start my podcast, and I wanted something that was easy, user friendly, and gave me all the tools that I needed. And if you're someone looking to make your first podcast, I would definitely suggest that you look into using Anchor. It is an amazing experience, and I know you'll love it as much as I do.
Good morning, Jackie.
Hey, Robin, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing on the East
Great.
Coast?
I'm doing great. Fabulous. Thank you.
You are very welcome. So let's get started because I think they're kind of biting at the chomps to hear more about what it is that you do. And I can't wait to introduce you to everybody. So good morning, everyone. This is Robin Mansell with Trade All Markets, and we are bringing you the best in all markets. And today we have as a very special guest, we have JP Consulting, and we have the CEO, Jackie Posada. Did I say your name correct, Jackie?
You did. You certainly did.
All right, all right. And so let me tell our listeners a little bit about Jackie, and then she's going to get more into the services that JP Consulting does provide. What they do, though, is help underserved entrepreneurs, small businesses, nonprofits access business capital funding using their EIN number instead of their personal credit to start, grow, scale, and make an impact in their community. And also, hablamos español, correct?
Sí, hablo español.
All right. All right. So that is, I love the word impact. And anytime I see that word with community, I literally get chills because that's really what we're trying to do. And I'm very excited to hear more about what you do and how you can serve our audience. So, Jackie, take it away.
Hi. Hope everybody's doing well today. Basically my passion, just a little bit of background, why I do what I do. I actually came from corporate America, what is now Wells Fargo, worked for them through their regular consumer lending, consumer banking area, all the way through to the private banking, high net worth clients. And I actually, believe it or not, was one of the first people back in the late 90s, early 2000s that actually worked from home as a licensed financial consultant. So those were, people were always like, what is that? But now it's very common. So, it became a passion of mine is the underserved community. I say that, but it's, we are going to be the overserved community. We are I'm Latina. And so my passion is helping African-American, Latinos, veterans, people that have maybe not had this information. This information has been out there for a very long time, and it's been available to overserved communities. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. So what I want to do is make sure that I empower each of you to structure your businesses, organizations, nonprofits, whatever the case may be, to be credit ready and lendable. No matter if you need credit now to maybe start, grow, scale a business, or in the future, it's better to go ahead and start from the very beginning to do it the proper way. A lot of people have a misconception that just to start an LLC or a corporation and then just call it Jane's Cleaning, Jane's Construction, that sort of thing. That's okay if you're trying to brand that and get people to know you as that. But your ultimate goal is to create a umbrella company so that you can fund any business. So basically you create a corporation to actually access as much funding as you may need. So that's kind of my passion, is that I want to just be able to serve and empower everyone to learn this and to do it the right way for their business, so that they can help impact, change lives, and ultimately give back to their community. Anybody, Robin, any questions so far with what I've mentioned?
Oh,
Very
oh,
welcome.
absolutely. I have lots of questions for you.
I love to, a lot of times to make sure that I answer all the questions and I'm not losing people and things like that. So you can start shoot with some questions.
All right. So, when you were working in corporate America or working for the bank, did you notice a disparity in people of color coming in and getting, and getting funds for their company? Did you notice it while you were there?
Yeah, actually, that's one of the reasons why, again, I do what I do is even though I worked with a lot of the higher net worth type clients, one of the things that I did, again, because I am bilingual, was this was, again, late 90s, early 2000s, when we were getting the influx of people coming from other countries, Latinos, and things like that. I actually would do volunteer work on the weekends at events and speak about banking and finance and credit, because a lot of people from other countries, I know from South American countries, they don't understand. It's totally different how credit works here as opposed to where they're from. And banks, a lot of them didn't trust banks. And so I would actually teach them to make sure they did it the proper way to start their bank accounts, things like that. And yes, always have. It's still to this day that the disparity, again, is you have a lot of people that their parents or family members and things like that have, corporate structures. And so they know that as soon as they turn 18, they've already got a corporate structure. They're going to be able to access funding and credit. And so it's all these little trade secrets and things that are trade secrets because not everybody knows about them. But if you study it and follow it like I have, then you were able to make sure that doesn't happen, and you're able to teach and show to do it the right way. Again, I teach a model that it's from the very beginning, the baby steps all the way to where you're getting unlimited funding. The problem is sometimes us, even a minority or people of color, sometimes we get excited about our business and it's great and we're going out there monetizing, which is the first thing. Of course, you want to make sure you make money. But as soon as you start making a little bit of money or really, want to do this right, and see the potential that it could go further, is your goal is to structure your business to be credit ready and lendable. Again, nothing to do with marketing or branding your business. This is all about that structure and strategy.
Absolutely. And what I love that you brought up, because I'm a 30-year entrepreneur, left corporate America 30 years ago. And one of the biggest challenges for most people, which is why I do what I do, is because I know we lack sometimes access to information. It's not that the information is being hid. It's that we don't always have access. And so if you don't even know what to ask, if you don't know what you don't know, it's hard to even realize where you could be. And so what I love about you, because I've been on your Facebook page, and I'm going to make sure that everybody knows about that also. I like that you have different programs that educate people. Can you talk about the educational process that you do?
Yeah, I have many different programs that I offer, from basic. If you just want to structure your business, you're not quite ready or concerned about setting it up to be credit ready and lendable. I have some one-on-one coaching that I offer. I also offer group sessions that we offer. Then I just did this one time as a beta, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it again. It was extremely successful, but just due to the time constraints and to make sure that I'm able to serve as many people as possible, I actually did basically like a 5-day challenge over 10 days to kind of basically teach this from the very beginning for people that are just in the startup phases of entrepreneurship. And I even had some people that have had a business for a couple of years and have hit those roadblocks where they're not able to access funding and they just didn't know why. And so we kind of went over that and shared secrets that they never thought was possible. And then just with the overwhelming response, I'm going to be doing a lot of one-on-one consultations with them to see if we could take them further in our process and that sort of thing. So we have, not only, we also have a Facebook group, private group where I share tips and information, daily tips. My goal is to give value. So maybe you're not ready, to build your business, or you're just in the process of learning. I go on my business page and I give tips and information. Same thing with the private group. And then I also offer like a building business credit checklist, and offer, if you're looking to leverage your personal credit to access even more funding quicker for your business, how to improve your credit by 100 points. The key is personal credit, even though the ultimate goal is to keep your business and personal. Sometimes we get opportunities that we want to invest in a business or do something that we need the funding a lot quicker. So you're able to leverage your personal, and it's still not going to affect you unless you default on the business. So there's so many opportunities and things that I give a lot of different PDFs and go online and offer my suggestions and the information through some different Facebook groups that I belong in.
Yeah, I really, I really like what you're saying. Keywords, trade secrets, becoming more lendable, credit ready. It's like the foundational things that we need to do to get every area of our life together. But particularly if we want to be an entrepreneur, you've heard people say, "Are you an entrepreneur? Or are you a wantrepreneur?" So what I hear Jackie saying is that wherever stage that you're in, that she can help you with that to get to where you need to be. So, Jackie, what do you find is the biggest challenge that you have to get across to people that maybe they just don't understand the process? What's the biggest challenge you find with people?
Is that they think that because they have an LLC, they have their EIN, and they have their Dun & Bradstreet, they're good to go to get credit or business credit. It doesn't work that way. Again, there's like a 20-point checklist that's basic underwriting that they look at. This is just the basic. And if you miss any of those steps, you're going to create red flags. So, again, you may be able to get some net 30 trade lines. You may be able to get a credit card here or there. But if you ever really want to access true funding in the hundreds of thousands, in the millions, if you don't have your business structured the right way to look like a Fortune 500 company, you're going to hit roadblocks. So letting people understand that even if they're at the beginning stages, the middle, even if they've got plenty of cash flow and they've gotten some business credit, we still need to make sure that all their I's are dotted and all their T's are crossed. Just like the sales is truly the most important, because that's one of the what they call the 3 C's that underwriters are looking for, is the cash flow. That's truly important. Setting your foundation for your business, for sales, for marketing, all those things. You can have all those things in place, but you can't invest in those if you're always tying up your cash flow, or you want to use that cash flow for something else and you need some credit. So structuring your business to be credit ready and lendable at all times is very, very important. And a lot of people seem to miss that step, is that they do one step here, skip a couple steps, go here, and into 2021, you can't miss. You can't go from A to C and then go to F and then expect everything to kind of fall in line. And I kind of give the example, it's like when you're getting a mortgage for your home. The more gaps in your story, the more jobs you've had, your credibility, if you've had some issues with your credit, even though it's fixed now, the more things questions they're going to ask, and the more documentation they're going to request right? That's the same thing with when you set up your business structure to be ready and lendable. Is the more tight and your that foundation is strong, the less questions they will ask.
I remember when I was buying my second home, and I went into the lender, which again, as you talk about steps, and I had a folder. And in my folder, I knew they were going to want to see my bank statements. I kind of had an idea, or someone had, said, "Oh, I need you to bring in this and this." And I remember the guy, I handed him the folder, and he was like, "Wow, you came in here prepared, didn't you?" And I hear that's what you're saying with us in business also, that we need to be prepared. And I think another part of this is that we need to be patient with the process. Would you say that patience is an area sometimes that you have a challenge with
Right. That's
entrepreneurs?
kind of where we're going back to, that is that they go through the first part and they skip places because they think they can skip and cut corners and cheat the system and that sort of thing. And yes, you may be able to get away with it once or twice, but in the long run, it's going to hurt you. And so that the patience, it's important. Not to say that we can't expedite the process to get you the funding you need and to get it, but it does take patience, especially now with COVID and things like that. It's like, the government gave a lot of concessions to the people in the country, that they didn't have to pay their mortgage on time, and that, that it wouldn't affect them as far as the, them being reported on their credit, the rent, things like that. And I always tell people, even, whatever would they give us on the front end, we're still doing it on the back end. We're getting hit on the back end, right? So basically now the underwriters or the credit bureaus do not have to report as quickly any issues with credit, positive or negative either. And so they
Mhm.
have unlimited amount of time. So some of these things are beyond your control. So again, being patient but doing your due diligence so that you can make sure you get this squared away is very important. And then also making sure, again, that you are ready into 2021 to have that digital footprint of your business. Again, a lot of people, especially service-based businesses and brick and mortars and local-based businesses, is they are like, well, my business is word of mouth. I don't need a website or anything like that. Again, the website I'm talking about, it's almost like a general front door to your business, where it talks about what you do as a business, but not necessarily totally getting exactly to market. Like if you do cleaning or residential, there's certain ways to be strategically smart so that it's for credit purposes and funding purposes. And so again, just that patience of making sure you don't cut corners or anything like that, and just be patient that the process works if you do your due diligence.
Yeah, I want our listeners to. I really hope you hear what Jackie is saying to you, because it's really important for you and your business. And even though her company is about helping you get access to funding, capital, did you hear her say that you need to have other things in place, like your digital footprint? And for those of you that have been used to listening to Trade All Markets, where we have had everyone that is in the investing world, we have Trade All Markets. We've been doing that for over a year, showing people how they can learn how to access information to invest. Well, now with Jackie, we're doing a collaboration, and one of the things that she just mentioned, the digital footprint, we're bringing all of this together. So I want everybody to pay very close attention, because it's not just one thing you need. You're going to need several things to be a legitimate business. And that is one of the reasons that you see us adding, and it's actually going to be called TAM Biz Connect. And we will be showcasing people like Jackie, people like Daniel Matthews Media, who we interviewed yesterday, well, actually on Monday. Um, these are the kind of things that we're doing because they all go hand in hand. And we want you to understand that. Don't be so focused on getting the money and not put your business totally together the way that Jackie is telling you. And that's why she has classes that give you information about all aspects, because COVID, Jackie, let everybody know, is COVID making it more of a challenge, or have some of the rules
Well, right
changed?
now, yeah, COVID definitely, it's like the wild, wild west out there again when it comes to business credit and business funding because, I can pretty much guarantee a lot of you maybe had some high credit lines on your personal side, maybe even on your business. Then you made a payment, a large payment, and then it all of a sudden you get a letter saying that your credit limit has been decreased by 25 to 50% of your credit line. Again, the banks and things like that don't want to take risks, so that's why they're doing that. And moving forward, they are going to have to do some, strategic access to funding and lending. So I know the rates are going to go down and things like that, but having everything in place is going to be very important. So if you missed, for instance, you missed the PPP or the EIDL because you weren't structured in the right way and we're missing something, this is very important that moving forward, that never happens to you again. So not if, but when they give access to this funding, or they open up the world back up, and there's going to be potentially to access more funding through SBA and other sources, that you're ready, that your business is ready, credit ready, and lendable. That's one of the things too, is if you think about it, if you go back, a lot of you probably missed it because maybe you were a sole proprietor and not an LLC, or maybe you got a little bit of money because you're a sole proprietor, but you could have gotten more if you would have been structured as an LLC. So basically, it's making sure that you're, again, our goal is to help you get structured no matter where you're at in your business, so that you can access business funding through not only through SBA or other sources, but also possibly be able to access becoming a vendor with the government and all those things. And they all go hand in hand by having, like Robin said, making sure your business plan is in line, everything. So all these things we kind of, we have a stair step that we help you go through that no matter where you're at. And so just to never have to be in the situation you are now, that you missed the opportunity to access funding that was given.
And Jackie, how long have you seen on average does the process take? Let's say a person comes to you, with their business pretty much in line, having the items from the 24-point checklist all together. Is there an average time that it takes for them to get some type of funding?
That's the thing with once we do, do the onboarding questionnaire and kind of follow through and make sure we verify that all the information matches like they say it matches, then we make sure we help you start building your business credit. So it's kind of like with a business. If, let's say, everything on the 20-point checklist is there, but you never really started to build business, maybe you have a credit card that's under your business name, but you still co-sign for your personal, but you've never seen a score. So what we do is we make sure everything is built out properly. And then within less than 30 days, again, some of these, prior to COVID, I could say within 2 weeks, because things that were out of our control were still getting done fast. Now with COVID, some of these things are with Secretary of State, Dun & Bradstreet, the IRS. So anything that's beyond our control, we can't, we don't really know. Prior to COVID, you could start building credit usually within 2 to 3 weeks from when we start the process, depending on where you were in your business, and to actually access credit lines through vendors and trade lines, usually within 30 days. Now with COVID, and again, depending on where you're at, and if we have to do a lot of changes, or if it's perfectly fine within the 30-day period, we can actually help you build a score so that you can actually access trade lines in just your business name, not using your personal, to strategically get your score. Just like when we're 18, we don't have a score when we turn 18, so we go out and get somebody to co-sign for us. We become an authorized user on a card or something like that. the same way with business credit, but we actually take it a step further where we actually have strategic vendors and trade lines that we work with that'll accept brand new, not necessarily brand new businesses, but brand new businesses and or brand new to building business credit. And so, yeah, you can actually access business funding within 30 days, depending on where you're at. Even with COVID, of course, there's going to be some parameters you meet, but you can access business funding for your business within 30 days.
Wow, that's great to hear. Now, we have a group that has about it's a little over 300 now inside of the group. What we want to do is have you do a live presentation inside of the group. Obviously, we're going to encourage them to listen to the podcast. But what we also want to do, we don't want to inundate you with, just sending 300 people over to you. Are there some steps that would it be, for example, and you tell me if I'm correct, you have the 24-point checklist. Should people see where they are on that point list before they come to you, or is there a way that you like to, speak to your potential clients?
I could send the 20-point checklist just to see, so that you see where you're at. What I would recommend, if you're kind of doubtful that you have everything, don't go and do everything on the checklist, because there's tricks and tips that if you miss something or do it wrong, it's just like starting over.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, one of the points on there is getting a virtual business address, even if you work from home and that sort of thing. People think, oh, virtual business address. Let me go to the post office and get a street address, and that'll be a business address. No. Or UPS, UPS mailboxes, et cetera, that sort of thing. No, because a lot of those have already been indexed and flagged as mail drops. So we know what to look for, so that, again, you look like a Fortune 500 company. So a lot of times, sometimes people get, oh, my checklist. Okay, I'm going to go get a virtual address, and they get whatever. Oh, I'm going to get a Google phone number, and they do all these things, and they're worse off than they were before, because all we got to do is ask their questions from before and then guide them through the process to make sure they do it right. So normally the checklist would be more for an informational, so that they have it, that when I speak, they can kind of see it and see, do I have this? Maybe, but I'll answer pretty much just about everything on there. So it's just more for informational, not to take action on that until I speak to them and explain to them how the process works. And then after that, I normally, because again, I want to make sure I give value, and everybody's different, every circumstance and business, is we offer, a 15-minute to 30-minute business credit consultation, where we see where you're at in the process, whether you want to move forward to work with us, or just want to see where you're at and get some information. I love to share and give tips and just help as much as I can.
Yeah, I like that, Jackie. Definitely, the group is waiting with bated breath to hear from you. They're very excited, and we know that one size does not fit all. And the biggest thing that we want to do is bring people options, because I did learn very early that access to information is critical. It's critical to success. It's also critical that when you have someone who knows what they're doing, legitimately knows what they're doing with their business, is that you also follow the steps that are given to you with that also, and that you actually do the work. It's not like you just hand everything over to Jackie and she performs magic. We have work that is involved also. So you have to go through the process and do some things. And so we're really looking forward to introducing Jackie, letting you get your questions answered. And anyone that's listening to this podcast, you're welcome to come join us on Facebook. And that's where Jackie is also. And this is something that everyone who has a business needs, because if you're going to scale your business, you're going to need funding to do that. And Jackie, talk about that, because I think a lot, especially in the minority community, Scaling is something that I think we're a little confused about exactly what that means. Can you talk about what it really means to scale
Yeah,
your
scaling
business?
means not only the particular business you run. Let's say you have the business that you have, but then you have a passion that you want to do multiple businesses. What you want to do is be able to create that umbrella where you're able to access funding no matter if you have an e-com store, if you're in real estate, if you're in construction, no matter. Oh, excuse me, I just got a little bit of cough here. And so no matter where you're at in the process, scaling means that you're able to take what you're doing and multiply it into other within your business you're doing, or divide or go into other areas to grow your businesses and scale your businesses. And a lot of times you may have great cash flow, but you have payroll, marketing, day-to-day expenses, that sort of thing. You want to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that you have credit and funding available so that you don't have to stress out about where you're going to put your money here or there. You want to work or use other people's money to scale. And what a lot of people, they also get confused there. They start asking, well, what kind of interest rate with this and that? And I tell people, if you know that you're going to get $50,000 in less than 90 days, and then maybe by the time it's all said and done, you're going to pay 60,000 back. But being able to have access to that 50,000, you're going to actually double or 2.5 times it within that same amount of time. Does it matter what you pay? No, because it's other people's money. Right?
Yeah. That is a hard lesson for a lot of people, Jackie. That's definitely something you really have to know the numbers. It's why on Shark Tank, my favorite shark is the Undertaker, Kevin, because Kevin is always telling people those numbers don't
Right.
match up. And it's really important that we know the numbers. So I want to thank you for being on the call today, and thank you for being a part of TAM Biz Connect. This is a journey where we are looking to help and support entrepreneurs, and I know that is your passion. And there are, just to be frank, there are a lot of places out there who are not reputable or legit, and Jackie comes to you with a background and an experience coming out of corporate America in consumer banking and private banking. And so she is someone who this has been her life's mission to really help people, and particularly to help people of color who have felt sometimes locked out of accessing this information. But that's what we're going to do. We're in this new day and age where the information superhighway, and we can now bring you some of the best people who really can support you and help you with their business. So, Jackie, tell everybody where they can reach you, your social media, your
Yeah, I
website.
can be reached on my Facebook. Jackie A. Posada is my personal page. My business is JP Consulting. And I'm in North Carolina because I think there's going to be a couple, but I'll be more than happy to share those links with you, Robin, at JP Consulting. And then my website is your 2020 vision and beyond.com, spelled out. Again, your 2020, that would be in numbers, your 2020 vision and beyond.com. As well as you can shoot me a text or call me at 980-280-5918, and you can just say that you heard me on Robin Mansell's podcast, and I'll be more than happy to schedule a time so we can chat.
Jackie, I love your website. You pivoted that one, the Your 2020 Vision and Beyond.
Believe
I
it or not,
love
I
it.
did that in late 2019, not knowing
Oh
what 2020
my
brought
God.
in. So that's actually it. And I'm actually glad you kind of said that, Robin, because now I was actually thinking about getting rid of that and going back to
Oh,
just my standard JP consulting. But now hearing you say it and me saying it out loud, like I just said it, I'm like, no, that's perfect. I need to continue and move it, So I actually appreciate it that you just brought me an epiphany here this morning.
Oh, wow. I'm going to tell you, that is so powerful. And think about the fact that you actually did that in
Yep.
2019. Those are some visionary moves, girl.
Yep.
That's some vision. That's some
Yep.
visionary
So
stuff right
that's
there.
that. Actually, no, I'm kind of glad. Really glad I'm having this conversation with you, because I was talking to my my marketing team and my graphics and things like that, and I'm revamping my website a little bit, and I was going to go back to my JP Consulting and get rid of the Your 2020 vision, but now it's like, no, what am I going to do that for? So thank you. So.
No, because look, that's so powerful, because there are a lot of businesses that have done well with 2020. But I think the biggest takeaway for all of us is that you have to be prepared in your business to pivot or adapt when necessary. And so looking through the eyes is what I hear with you saying, your 2020 vision. It just so happens that 2020 was that year, but 2020 obviously pertains to us having better vision. So yeah, I really, literally, Jackie, I got chills when you said that.
Wow. Oh, well,
Because I thought, wow, look how she pivoted. Yeah, I thought, look how she pivoted to that.
No, I'm
So yeah, even better.
This is
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. Go ahead,
No,
Jackie. Let you finish
this is
out.
awesome, and I hope to connect with several of you, and help and assist in any way possible, because ultimately we all want to make a difference, not only in our families' lives, in our lives, but ultimately, hopefully, you want to make an impact and change lives in the community and be difference makers. So that's the key to everything that I do, is that we all can be difference makers, and collaboration is key. And so I'm excited about the potential collaborations, Robin.
Oh, and I'm writing down. I always take notes when I have my guests, and difference makers. I love that. Had not heard that before. I also want you, before we leave, I want you to repeat the 3 C's to everybody. I didn't get a chance to
The
write that
three
down. What are the
C's
3 C's
when it
again?
comes to business funding and business credit is cash flow of the business, the collateral you're using for the business, i.e., equipment, real estate, whatever the collateral, and then the last 3 C. They're in no certain order. The credit worthiness of the business and or owners. So again, a lot of you don't have the credit worthiness with your business. That's okay. We're going to help you build that. And then a lot of you may already have excellent personal credit. That's great. If not, that's okay, because we can help you make any updates, amendment changes, and update your, work on your personal credit while we help you build your business credit. So again, there's many ways to make sure that we get those 3 C's working one with the other, or at least one of the 3 C's is important.
Perfect. Jackie, it's been a pleasure. I am so excited to have had this conversation and the previous conversations that you and I have had. And I am looking forward to introducing you to everyone inside of our Facebook group, and to you helping us all go to 2020 vision and beyond. Thank you so much for being our guest. And thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And thank you, everyone, for listening in, and join us as we help companies expand their business with people like JP Consulting, and looking forward to bringing you more people that can help you as an entrepreneur. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Bye.